Looking now at oral language. Yes, we looked at oral language through the art. Where else do we have oral language, please? When else could you do oral language? All of the time. Okay. Yes, in terms of transactional language, come and sit on the mat. It's time to go out to lunch. So that's transactional. You give an instruction. Where else do we see it? Conversations. So if we expect conversations to be part of our curriculum because they're precursor to all written language, how are we going to ramp up conversations in our class?
Allow talking.
Allow talking. Put beautiful things, put cool, interesting things in your classroom and start a conversation about it. Have a statue of Athena and say, why is she wearing a shield? What is the shield about? Tell us a little bit about how you feel. All of that. So you're having beautiful, wonderful conversations about Māori artifacts, about something beautiful, about an event that is happening, and you're speaking in beautiful, full language yourself, so you're modelling. Where else do we see oral language? Let's go outside, let's look at go for a walk, and you notice different types of moss. Do you notice the different size of the leaves and their orientation to the sun? Do you notice how the leaf shape changes according to the type of plant? Do you notice that each tree has got lots of different colours to its trunk? There are lots of different colours there. They're not uniform brown. Around here it's lighter. Over here it's darker. Why? What is happening? Where does the sun come up? Where does the sun go down? A lot of science is going to give you a lot of oral language. Keep going.
Conferencing.
What's that?
Conferencing, one-on-one.
Conferencing. Yes, I know because you've been working really hard on this. Tell me, have you got any difficulties? Enriched language coming through. Metacognition, which is conferencing. Thinking about thinking, which is what that is. Yes, what else?
Class discussions, over
Class.
time kind of thing.
Yes. Do they increase oral language?
Yes.
Yes, they do, but marginally. Can I just say marginally? That this sort of conversation for young kids is get boring very, very quickly because you're not expressing yourself. And that's why I don't have anything to bounce across, so I'm just going to switch off, okay? So when you say class discussions, maybe 2 or 3 a discussion with 2 or 3. Lots and lots of those discussions, but a big group like this. Can you understand why it's boring now? Because if the only way you can find out about who you are is to project something, and there's no way you can project anything, you don't know who you are. I asked a group of teenagers, I said, have you guys heard of Quakers? Quakers is a sort of it's a religion my brother's involved with, and you go and sit in a room and no one says anything. No one talks. You just sit there. And then if somebody feels moved, they can stand up and say something, and then they sit down. And then after a while, somebody might say something that was either connected to that thing, that first thing, or not, or totally different. And they just say it and sit down, and you just basically are sitting there thinking. And quaking means, are you moved to speak? Is there some power within you that makes you want to speak? So I said to teenagers, should we try that? They said, no way. And one teenager summed it up beautifully. He said, how will I know who I am? How will I know I'm there if I don't speak? So, to curb a little bit of teen violence in the States, they wanted to stop teenagers mugging people, taking money out of EFTPOS machines. They put mirrors beside them because most people, when they see themselves in a mirror, go, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. Ooh, you know, you can lie to yourself up to a bit, but then when it's there, it didn't work at all for black people because they just didn't see themselves. They had no identity. It's so frightening.
Well, they see themselves as bad. There was a thing with children, I'm not saying they're bad, but the white girl saw herself as good and the black girl saw herself as bad. And so if they saw themselves, they knew they were bad anyway. So.
Is that the one where they had a little baby doll?
Yeah.
They were like, what is this doll?
Yeah,
Is
she's
it a
bad.
good
She's bad.
Is it
Why?
a good doll or
Because
a
she's,
bad doll?
what was it? One of the kids was like, because she's not white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did you get that language from?
This idea of identity, I mean, we're just talking about it now, but you do have to keep bouncing out there. You have to send out a ping. In computing, we call it a ping. When a computer says to another computer, I'm here, I'm still here, bing, 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 and if a ping comes back, then that computer is happy that it's alive. So, your identity comes through how you see yourself through your own actions and the actions of other people around you. That's what it's all about. And if you diminish that, then you diminish interest. That's what boredom is, when you just don't have enough feedback as to who you are. Does that work for you as a definition? Some people look at themselves for hours in the mirror or hours in a selfie, and they're just so fascinated. Is this hair doing its thing? Or what? Like they have such a rich engagement with self. It's a little bit odd as far as I can see. I mean, no one else notices really, but they're just so acutely aware that some part of their skin is slightly different colour to another part of their skin.
It's just narcissistic.
Well, maybe it seems to be.
I think it's people pointing it out.
Right. So, oral language has got to be in there. Between social interaction. It's all about how the child is experiencing the world. We need to hear how the child is experiencing the world. How do you feel about that? Not what did you get in the test. How did you feel about it? How did you feel about walking through the puddles? What was your strongest emotion when that child hit you? These are important statements. Oral language has got to be the biggest part of your curriculum. But it's hard, and it's not visible, so we tend to forget about it. Who saw a really good oral language program on Prac? Not strong? No?
Oh, this Prac.
Yeah, I'll ask Pat. Because Diane does all the talking. Do you know this?
do.
It's all about Diane? Okay, I mean, she's a great Montessori teacher, absolutely, and we've agreed on that. But it's all about Diane. It comes back to her agenda every single time. Those kids cannot, and there's hundreds of them in that room.
So we can get rid of the reading program and instead implement an oral program.
Oh my God!
But there is no
That's
reading program.
fantastic. Yeah.
There was a reading
There was a
program
reading
in my
program,
class.
Well, what's the reading analysis?
We're getting it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it'll happen. But what is that? It's asking questions of the text so that you understand your own writing. In fact, all reading analysis is a start off with writing analysis. And we're going to do that. That's the orange star diagram you're talking about. We're going to get there because that's a writing exercise. It just so happens that the more you write, the better you read. That's a good side product, but really we want better and better writing. All of this grammar we're about to do is about your writing,
Okay.
not just in your reading. They will pick it up because that's how language evolves. Yes.
Then how? No.
Good, you have to do slightly better than that as a critique, but yes, let's go there.
No. It makes so much sense. Yes,
Which one makes so much
the
sense?
spoken word came first. But why the heck are we being taught to read first and then to write?
Any answers? I can't. I'm out of my. I'm out.
Because, like Katie said, somebody said this was the way to do it, and so you're gonna.
Well, that person sucks, okay?
I don't know that we are being taught to read.
As far as
It's done in
behind
parallel. But I think what we're saying is it doesn't need to be done in parallel. We actually need to focus on writing. If we focus on writing, we focus on writing.
Well, I mean, even look at like my practicum in my mainstream school, the groups were set up and like it was whole class writing, and then the reading was put into groups with different levels.
Yeah.
So it's like, shouldn't the writing be done the same? I mean, if you're an excellent writer, you shouldn't be doing the same activity as someone that's just learning to write. You know?
Yeah. Maybe we should split them up into kindness groups as well, or into leadership groups, or into groups of
Blue eyes.
empathy. What's that?
Into blue eyes.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's the
Or maybe we
point?
could just have groups of one
Yeah.
on every parameter. Voila. There we go. Okay. So I really, really want you to do a lot of oral language, please. Okay? So turn to the person sit beside you and a verb from each letter of the alphabet. A is to ask, B is to bathe, C is to catch. Off you go.
Wait,
ASL.